We are going live, and I'm just loading up Facebook and She Talks and YouTube. Hi, everyone. We're going live for our 7 p.m. live this morning, and I'm super excited. I've got Carly Michael, and Carly Michael is a photo organizer and a documentary photographer who has something very surprising to share with us tonight. Now, I can't see myself here, so I hope that can you see me, Carly? Yeah, fantastic. No worries. So welcome, Carly. Hey, great to have you here.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
You look gorgeous.
Oh, thanks. I'm trying to figure out, if I was in a Zoom meeting, I'd put your face near the camera so it looks like I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just navigating this new software. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Good. And then I've got Instagram over here on my phone, just showing everyone what's happening. And there we are. So, Carly, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just get you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay.
So my name's Carly, and I think I'm all about photos. I guess my main Instagram handle is Carly Michael Photo. And I grew up.
You once weren't all about photos, right?
I grew up in a camera store. Like my whole life has been about cameras, photography, and photos.
Right.
So I don't know. What were you referring to?
Oh, I thought you said that for a little bit there you were working in a different.
Yes,
area.
Absolutely.
And then you realized you missed this because this is what you're all about.
Maybe, I don't know, at high school, I was a science student. I was really interested in science and the brain, and already from year 10, because, we have to decide quite early in high school, what uni degree you want to do.
Oh my God, too early.
Right? You've had no life experience, but I was interested in the brain. So I did all the subjects to get me into behavioral neuroscience.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's what I studied after school.
Right.
But then I got a little bit disheartened by some things along the way, and I really was still interested in human behavior. And so I wanted to do something more practical. And I was actually I shot photos on when I traveled and stuff. So, I took some nice photos. My friends really encouraged me at the time to apply for photography school. So I did. I went to RMIT. I got in for 3 years, and I majored in documentary photography. Yeah.
Wow. And so I'm guessing that human behavior still plays into what you're doing. Would
Absolutely.
I be right in saying that? Yeah. So
it just weaves itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about that. I find that fascinating.
I don't even know where to start, but I wouldn't actually. I just am interested. I've always been interested in human behavior, and I guess I don't even know where to start. You might need to ask me a question.
I don't know. I just imagine that you love capturing people in their most organic moments, which is human behavior. That's what I was imagining.
Well, that's my style, documentary. Uni, because you try all the different styles of photography, and there's fashion and there's studio and there's I prefer my natural style in photography is documentary. I don't like to interfere in any way, just kind of be in the moment and capture what was there.
I hear you. I went through I studied at La Trobe, and I didn't do all film, but we did a segment on film, and the same thing, you get to dabble in the different areas and discover where you really want to be. And for me, it's documentary as well. I find that so fascinating, but also I'm a great lover of the brain, neuroscience, human behavior, all of that is fascinating. I was going to swear there, but yes.
And I've just found some really cool had some realizations about automations, because I think a lot of behavior is automatic, reactive, you do something and you respond. And so when I've been I'm relaunching my business into a tech startup, which I didn't really know what that was. But if you think like Silicon Valley and like Israel, like they're tech startups, and what that really is, I did an accelerator program, and I really got like, what it is like they're early stage businesses, like testing things and reiterating quickly and using the tools, the no code tools, and it's what's called a zap in between them to connect the different pieces of software. So like if I put a new client in a CRM, if this happens, then create a Google folder with the names there automatically, and then do this and then do this, right? So it's built on these automations. I was like, wow, automations, like automaticity. It's like, if it's not to break that down, that literally has to be a breakdown in the program there. So I thought it was very interesting as well. And that's kind of,
Yeah. I get that. And it's true, because if we're designed to be automated, we're meant to be automated, and then so we are in that reactive way of being until we consciously regulate ourselves, and then we're not reactive, we're decisive. But I like talking about the like there's almost a parallel there with when there's a breakdown. Yeah.
Well, I found it just really powerful. Like often we say things happen automatically, and I was just interested in the automatic part of it, as opposed like what it looks like to be automatic, I guess.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I love how your brain works already. So what else about you?
What else about me?
Yeah, what are you up to? What are you up to at the
What
moment?
am I up to? All right. Currently I'm kind of shifting my business, which I like started during COVID. I left my family business, in 2020, right before at the time of like COVID, right? We had a camera store in the city for 106 years. And
wow.
We just actually handed over an empty building to our new tenants about, a couple of weeks ago. So it's very new. So that's something that's complete. Like in this over COVID, I created a new business, right? I've always worked in the photo lab. Well, after I finished photography at RMIT, then around that time I started working at the shop, and I'd been in and out there my whole life. Like I'd been in the lab and everywhere over the years.
Yeah, since day dot, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
So then I started working in the imaging department. And the imaging department is where we did the printing and scanning and film processing. So I basically worked there like to 2011 until, 2020. So it's at 9 years.
Yep, that's quite a stretch.
Yeah, and then COVID hit, and I discovered this industry, a very new one in America, called at the time it was the Association of Professional Photo Organizers. They're people who organize photos, there's systems and ways to actually organize photos. And when I discovered this, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I've got to, I was like hooked. But it wasn't really like working in retail was really all consuming all the time, and just trying to do one task and focus, like the phone rings, a customer here, this machine breaks, like Carly, like it was kind of like that.
Right.
So I finally had everything was shut down. So I joined the association now called the Photo Managers. And I just kind of did all the courses and participated in conferences, which were virtual from the get-go. And it was amazing. I met lots of people, learned so much, practiced, had still I was really lucky. I've had access to the scanners of Michael's when we really made the decision to close the lab down and start dealing with all the equipment. So Yeah,
Mm.
so I've been, developing.
So is that where you came across this discovery that you started sharing with me? But I said, hang on, wait a minute, share it
You
here.
know what? I know now what you're referring to. Okay, you're
Yeah.
talking about the digital dark age.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That I discovered. So I was really lucky. Just in my role of the manager of the imaging department, I was really lucky. I used to go overseas every July to Vegas to the conference for independent photo lab managers. We would just geek out about our scanners and our services and all that, like for 3 4
I
days.
did not know that was a thing, but it
Well, there
surely
is.
is.
And
Oh,
my
that's
dad,
brilliant.
my parents used to go. And so my
Right.
dad took me and introduced me and like, over a couple of years. And then I started going by myself.
Really?
Um,
That's
yeah,
fantastic. So
yeah.
how long does it last?
Oh my God. It's like, I think it's 3 days and we
Right.
would be out of the
Yep.
country in and out in a week,
Right.
go there, do the conference, come back. Like
Wow. But 3 days of
3 days from
talking
morning till night.
scanners and printers and
Yeah,
all things.
film and like, photo lab stuff. So
Yep.
we were, this was happening, film was having a major resurgence starting in, I think it was 2016, 2015, 2016. So like we were right there in this resurgence. And so I gave a talk one year. I was like, I said, I'll speak about film and how film is alive and like, let's like get on this and educating the other, members about it and sharing. So then the following year they asked me to do a talk. I was on a panel of 3 for scanning and archiving, because that's what we did as well. Like we specialized in digitizing family. Like people brought us family things. We were constantly like our people, funerals, like we rush jobs through with priority,
Oh, yeah, right.
types of orders. We were, photo restorations and digitizing,
Mm,
printing and putting them in fine art paper, like the family heirlooms that are going to be archival. Yeah, that was the type of work that we did, as well as photos, film processing.
Yeah.
They asked me to speak about that, and anyway, I did a bit of research, in preparation, and I came across this guy. His name is Vint Cerf, and he was one of the original architects of the internet. Remember, the internet's only been around for 40 years.
That's
The
right.
birthday of the internet is 1st of January 1983, right?
Mind-blowing.
Almost 40th birthday, the internet.
Yeah, mind-blowing, yeah.
Yeah. So we I lost my train of thought just there. Anyway, Vint Cerf, right? He's been saying, he's one of the original architects and now the current vice president of Google. Okay. Now he's been saying for years, yes.
How do I spell his name? Vince?
I think, let me have a quick look. Vint?
Yeah.
I think it's Vint Cerf.
I've got it.
Vint, V-I-N-T, Cerf, C-E-R-F.
Oh,
he's an internet pioneer and recognizes the fathers of the internet.
Yep. Now I know who you're talking
about. So he's been saying, I came across him, it must have been, I think it was 2016 or 16. And he was saying, if we don't take responsibility and take action with our digital world, and just manage it, we're going to become a lost generation. Because like basically if you don't, let's say in terms of photos, if you don't organize your photos, they're gonna disappear. Why? Because hard drives are only designed to last about 3 to 5 to 7 years, right?
Right.
And CDs, say, depends on which label you read, but like 5, 10, some say 100, right? I had 47 CDs from my own collection that only maybe 3 months ago I tried to copy them off. More than 47% failed. I couldn't get the photos off, right? I've lost those photos.
That's devastating.
Yeah. But this is actually, he was waving this flag and it was interesting because I came across this and I was like, all right, the digital ages, the dark ages. I've heard this term, but like, what is it? And I Googled, and it's the time period between the years 500 and 1500 BC, like only 500 years ago. It's also called the medieval times and the Middle Ages, but there's really no records like of what happened in that time. And what followed was the Age of Enlightenment, you know, where people were writing and painting and you know, creating. And so, yeah, so he was said that, you know, like, and we're going to be the most photographed generation that ever existed, but it's likely that a lot of it's going to become, you know, disappear. And the other thing that's impacting this is obsolescence. So, you know,
Meaning?
like, do your computers come with CD drives, right? CDs are obsolete almost, or VHS tapes. Right, it's an obsolete. It doesn't exist. They stopped making video players in the last 10 years. VHS machines, right? The things that our images and our lives are stored on are becoming the devices required to extract that information are like disappearing, right? I just bought a new MacBook Pro, and it has I can't even plug in my USBs, right? I had to buy this adapter to put the USBs. It's like an octopus coming off my computer. I was like, what? Then I realized those are going to become obsolete. And what's cool though, yeah, that's what's happening, right? And that's so I started sharing. Yeah.
So what do we need to do? Because we don't want to lose those photos. And I'll be honest with you, Carly, I actually have this beautiful vision of me as the old lady. I was going to say little old lady, but I'm not. I'm pretty robust and, you know, but here I am in, you know, in my senior years. I want to sit and look at my photos. I want to go through my whole life and revel in it by looking at those photos. And I want to do it with friends and family. And I want to sit around and have moments where we just look at these photos and share them. So what is going to happen? Well, how do I stop this from happening, from losing my photos? Because that's the last thing I want, or anyone wants.
So it's a great question. The simple answer is to have them organized. You can't imagine, right? You can imagine. I'm going to paint the picture for you.
All right.
So imagine that everything, all your photos, we got rid of all the duplicates. They're cleaned up. They're in one place. They're organized. You can find them, right? They're just
I'll write my questions down while you're talking. Yes, keep going.
It's just organized, right? All you have to do is like search, and the photo you want comes up, or you know, you just kind of go through a really logical tree and you find what you want. And it's very descriptive and whatever. It's like everything's right there, and means you can do anything you want, right? So you can find things and just like do that creative thing you were trying to do, or deal with that thing, rather than trying to figure out how to go, you know, deal with this, you know, roadblock that's popped up. So that's what's kind of makes available, right? And so when your photos are organized, when your files are organized, when you can just really find them, you can like just do things and move forward, and including sharing. You know, there's amazing technologies popping up. Very excited about the possibilities that are available with photos, especially digitized ones, because if they're tagged, like now, you know, we can apply, you know, with what's scanned, you can include the map information, or, you know, we adjust the dates. And so all those photos, like there's all these new technologies like frames and just really like cool things that are available to and easy to use to share photos. But it comes down, photo books. Oh my God, everyone comes to me. That's what they want to do. I just want to make a photo book. Like the thing about having something tangible and in the physical world is that you know you've got it. And that's why I think there's a real part of the reason there's a resurgence in analog. It's the tangibility. But in terms of making a photo book, it's in this world, right? Now, to make a photo book, if you can't find the photos, it's a nightmare making the book, right? And my clients, once their photos are organized in their Apple, they can just find anything. They're making books like literally it takes 3 hours, done, boom, like so proud to show, you know? Like it's this like, whew, finally, you know?
Hey, we know what it's like just on our phones, and I've got a terabyte of storage on my phone. So can you imagine? And I love taking photos every day, but it's like, where's that photo?
And even scrolling.
And there's no point just having favorites, because I'm doing this in favorites, let alone the rest of my photos. Yeah. So is there a way that we can organize them on our phone into folders?
Oh. But you know what? Even one step before that, there's some amazingly simple, powerful search features already available to you. And most people don't even know that. Like literally, I think a big part of it is just understanding how if most people are on Apple or half, just how it works. You know, that like when you're looking at days, months, and years, you're actually still not looking at all the photos. It's looking at like a curated selection that the Apple thinks is important to you. But when you hit all photos, you've got everything.
Yeah, right.
And then there's also, if you just, I'm pretty sure it's on the right.
Come on. Done. Yes. Go on. So are you talking about tagging? Can we tag on? We can't.
I'm not really sure. To be honest, you can, but I haven't really gone there. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm very much of the opinion of the view that like what I've offered, what I realized, like I started with digital photos and then I realized people want the files as well. And so what I've created is like I'm calling it like my signature service, right? But it's like the foundation, right? So what we do is we systematically go through all of the devices in like I'd come to you. Maybe I'll do it this way.
So one what is it, a HP laptop, I've got a MacBook Pro, I've got an iPad Pro, and then I've got my iPhone, and then I've got my Android phone. You could do all of those.
Oh, and all your old hard drives, your CDs, your USB.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 hard drives under there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The old computer that you're storing in case.
Oh yeah, that's up there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, any memory cards lying around. Then we go into your Google. Do you have a Google Photos?
And I've got memory cards from my SLR.
Yeah. There's probably one still in the SLR.
Do you know what you've just made me realize? I mean, apart from the fact that actually my Mac and my iPad sharing information, so that counts one down, but everything else has its own information on it. Oh, not my phone, but yeah, that's all. There's photos here, there, and everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're scattered everywhere. And at different points, you've said, is this, I'm backing this up, and so you got backups of backups and you have no idea what's going on, right? Everyone's said, what about Dropbox? People, once they had a Dropbox account.
Oh, that's true. I have a Dropbox. I've got iCloud as well.
Yeah. So what we do is we like systematically, one by one, gather all the photos and files, if you choose, onto our hard drives, right? And everyone is numbered, so every item gets an ID, right? That's how we measure, And
what so
everything, like, it's interesting. You can't. My dad used to say this to me, and it used to drive me bonkers. But now it's it's like the foundation. But you can't manage what you can't measure.
Which you can't.
Right? You can't manage, and I'm just measuring it to just be able to then make decisions or know or see or whatever. But without, I'm a photo manager, right? And I'm part of the photo managers. We manage photos, and you can't manage what you can't measure. And it starts with giving the item a number, and then we pop it
Right.
into an inventory.
So
right?
I either dressed you just then, you're all like a whole row of you in black suits and suitcases, like Men
Oh
in
my
Black.
God, it's exactly kind of what it's like.
Right. That's exactly what I saw. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm using my grandfather's briefcase at the moment. It's my gather bag. I
Wow.
found it when we were moving from the shop, and it was kind of a joke I would use it, but my partner had the bag I normally use, which is like an aeroplane travel bag. So I had to use the briefcase. It was so funny. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Like just then, and I quite intentionally was pointing out all my devices to myself. I'm just going to snib my door because I just wanted to really take stock of how much I'm not in control of my images. I just wanted to really get present to how I don't know where everything is. And actually, that's a little overwhelming because I have a whole history of photos that I could be using, speaking gigs, workshops that I've facilitated, people, relatives who are not in the country anymore, friends who are not in the country anymore. And I could have access to them. And when people have birthdays, I could have access to those photos to do a beautiful collage card or a, digitized collage and send it to them. But I have no power or no control over my photos at all. I'm not managing them very well.
Well, we were never given an instruction manual.
We were not. This is true. You know what concerns me, though, is I'm really now concerned that I've probably lost some photos because there are some discs too. Oh my gosh, I'm just remembering photo shoots when I used to do modeling.
I know, it's so fun. You know what, though? Like, I think for some reason it's a bit alarming what happened with me with the CDs, but I've never heard of that before. Like, it must be how I stored them. Maybe they were in direct sunlight. Like,
really?
Oh, yeah. That stuff can make a real difference.
But
yeah.
should we be hurrying up? Because that's what I heard. Hurry up before things change.
Look, I think there's an urgency. I think, there are things happening, right? Like, not just that. There is Google, for example. So, we think our photos, I just said Google, for example, I'm going to circle back to that, right? Oh, now I lost my train of thought again.
So there is urgency.
The cloud. Let's talk about the cloud, right?
Okay, the cloud, yes.
So people think their photos it's fine. They're backed up. They're in the cloud.
Right.
Right? Yeah. You said you don't really know what's going on where your photos are. Like, you kind of have this trust and knowledge that they're in the cloud. Okay.
There's some
like cumulus clouds, or got to learn more names of clouds, but no.
Stratus and
a great name for this kind of thing you can't really see.
Yeah.
But all that stuff saved on hard drives, and big hard drives called servers, and they're in like buildings, and in some places like buildings the size of, I don't know, small countries or big islands. I don't know.
So thank you to the people who've just joined. We're with Carly Michael, who used to formerly be from Michael's photography store, which I have the most fondest memories of, and I have purchased a lot of items from. We're talking about this this urgency about your photos, which could literally be out of your hands if you're not watching where they're going. I'm going to let you follow on. I'm going to let you keep talking. I just wanted them to get a bit interested in what you're saying.
I understand. Get the context if you join late, if you've just joined, and welcome. So, all right, let's talk about the cloud. And where the data is actually stored. What I was saying was that they're in on hard drives, right? They're being stored somewhere, right? In big rooms. They need to be cooled or temperature controlled. The tech
Like we
needs to be
see,
replaced.
like we
Sorry.
see in the movie. Those, is it like we see
Yeah.
in the movie?
I don't
Those,
know. I don't know. All I know, I've never
right.
actually, you can just imagine that, like big
Yep.
rooms, data centers, things, but like, I don't know, the size of huge islands potentially for some, right? That's so the hard drives need to be replaced, etc. That's using earthly resources, right?
Oh, yes.
You know, to power and house these things. And 90% of the data out there is junk, right? Is closed accounts, all, MySpace from 20 years ago.
Is that why duplicates is a problem?
Why?
Or is there another reason for duplicate photos being a problem?
Duplicates in photos, look, they do take up more space, and that's I like how you just kind of linked that together. Duplicates are, duplicates in terms of photo imaging. Hi.
You can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, good.
In terms of photo imaging, they're just like, we just want one copy of each, that's about photo behavior as well. What I found is once we go through this process and we find the photo, everything's in one place, people are really like gobsmacked about how much imagery and unnecessary ones we have. Because remember, in the film world, it cost money to take a photo, right? And the further you go back in the history in photography, the more expensive it was. So we have less photos. They're more precious. They mean more, right? Now it seems like everything's free. Oh, I can just keep taking unlimited. I've got, I can so much space, right? So there is actually a cost. It's not, I don't think there's anything free here.
We don't know this. We're clueless. We're clueless. We don't know this. How could we know this? No one's.
I was really clueless.
Yeah.
I was a bit shocked when I very recently put the connection with, the impact of our digital data on the environment. That was a bit like, whoa, how did I not put that together? I've been looking into sharing about the digital dark age for some time. Right. And it's quite related. But I don't know. With the photo behavior, what I've noticed with my clients once we've finished, I've always been saying, I think, it's kind of like I reckon people just slow down and treat the camera like we did in film, waited for it's called the decisive moment. The decisive moment, just kind of like stop, wait, observe, boom, and then, and I have a camera. Yeah. I don't know. I have like a camera. I'd love to show you 1 second.
It's interesting, because I get the difference between the decisive moment and then that one, which I use this tactic as well, this strategy, which is click, 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 and then let me see which is the best shot. But then I leave them there just in case. Maybe I can edit it. Maybe I can, but they're just taking up space.
What I reckon.
Screenshots.
I love screenshots. I have to say I love that. I'm like, what you can communicate visually in a screenshot, I think is cool.
But my
phone, and I really like to play with that.
My phone is full of stuff that I'm not using.
Yeah.
So I could be more decisive.
I don't think it's even about being more or less decisive. It's actually just about, I think 9 out of 10 times the first photo is the best, right? What happens is you're like, when you want to take a photo, you're like, you take a photo, right? You take a photo. And then you take more. It's like, oh, what if that wasn't right? And maybe I could do it better, or all these other things, right? So in my experience, in my own photos and others, like 9 times, and you can look because you got heaps of bursts. Unless it's like kids with blinking eyes and animals moving, Generally, it's the first, and then that I think is best. So I reckon it's worth looking and seeing if that applies to your own photos. And if you can like acknowledge that, I think there's something in just like slowing down, taking one photo like this, just has like one or two photos or one photo, and each one tells a story. It takes me back. So, and you know, and I'll bring these to my phone, and then I colored even further on my phone, you know, but I might only bring 3 over because it's this technology is so cool. Like I
Yeah,
just have an app.
tell me about your camera, and are you saying that and tell me how they link. I haven't,
Okay.
that one
So,
out.
yeah, this is connected to this by like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but it's not the best. Sometimes it doesn't work. I'm still figuring out what it is that interrupts it. When I'm in my Wi-Fi at home, it doesn't work smoothly if I'm trying to connect by Wi-Fi. But if I'm not on my Wi-Fi network, it's very smooth to
So
connect. But all I do,
how's
yeah,
that work? What's happening with the
there's an
camera?
app and it
It's
connects.
an That's what
Yeah,
I thought.
and it connects.
Okay.
So I just
Wow.
take a photo
Mind
on this.
blowing.
I know. And when I found this, it was so simple just to get the photos, use it straight away, share it. That was a leap in technology. And then I realized that was kind of when that happened. I think it was 2017, 2018. I was like, well, cameras are really similar to phones. Like they do very similar things, made up many of the same components. And I know that cameras had planned obsolescence. You know, they were designed, and like phones, designed to only last 2 years so that you
That's
go and buy
right.
another one.
Yeah.
So then I thought, I started, and then like there was an earthquake in Japan, and like the Sony, a lot of the factories like were impacted. So we started to kind of see like a little bit about what was happening behind, like how these things are made and the impact of certain events on the availability and you know, shipping times, and you know, like, so you started to get a glimpse of what was going on. What we really don't, we're like, you know, we go and buy things, you know, it just comes ready, but we can't see what's happening in the background.
Wow. I'm still blown away that they're talking to each other through the app. You know, I studied photography. Oh my God, like it's got to be 30 years ago. No, it was more than that. It was nearly 40 years ago. And I was playing with box brownies. Now, that wasn't the camera of the time, obviously, but I had a beautiful SLR, Nikon. But we were playing with box brownies and all sorts of different cameras, which was truly exciting. And I can just see myself now in some of the laneways and taking photos and using the light at its best. And I'm just thinking, I would never imagine having a mobile phone back then, let alone having a mobile phone that would talk to my camera. That's just insane.
You know, the leaps in technology, we turned 100, right? We turned 100 in 2016. And we had I did my first photo organizing project on the Michael's history for this centenary event. And so I just found lots of things and put them in order and exhibited it. So one of the things I found was from the Melbourne Camera Club. It was minutes from their meeting in January 1990. And it said, Alan Michael is my grandfather. And it said, now our guest speaker tonight was Alan Michael, and he brought the very first digital video camera. We were amazed. You could stop it, rewind it, and view it straight away.
Straight away.
Right? Like that was 32 and a half years ago.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So I played on what do they call the 8? The video, the
Video 8 or Super 8.
Super 8
film reels, yeah.
Yes. And then I remember when digital video camera camcorder came out, and I was same thing. Oh my God, you can rewind this and see what you've shot. It wasn't a case of you go home after a shoot and then you're like, no, it's all crap. I've got to shoot again. Right?
No.
Like, and then
look
you have
what I got. You're like, wow, one good shot on the roll.
I got one good shot, but all the actors are gone, all the models are gone. Yeah,
no, but
yeah.
Kind of when you shot film, a
I
roll.
know what you're saying.
One good shot, and you'd be happy.
Yeah, you would, and it was the money shot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I know that through modeling, it used to be if they could get that one shot after a day shoot, they'd be really happy. Whereas now you're getting 3 to 6 shots.
Ooh,
Good shot.
it's actually a good point. The expectations much higher now to do the same thing, but at the same time, we can see it all. We can see it straight away. So
right.
it's like an evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. What else? So, if I organize all my photos into folders, where should I have them stored? What do you do through your management? Do they go into the cloud? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And what we practice is something called the 3, 2, 1 backup method. And what that looks like, or what that is 3 copies of all your photos stored in 2 locations, and one of those locations is offsite. So
Right.
I'll go into what that looks like. And on the simplest level is a Mac setup, someone who's fully Mac, right?
Mm-hmm.
For them, I'd have a 3, 2, 1 plus 1, right? And I'll explain why.
Okay,
I'll explain why. So we have 3 copies of the photos. So we have all of the photos sitting on the computer hard drive, right? My laptop, right? All of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's plugged into a time machine, which is continually backing up and making copies of the whole computer, including the apps and all that, right? Onto this local hard drive. And then I use a backup software in the cloud, not a sync, which is what iCloud and Google are, and backup, which means it's sending all my files up to the cloud always as well, right? And it does it one big one and then just scans for anything new and updates it. That's how that works.
Right.
And so that means I've got 3 copies, one on my computer, one on this hard drive, and one in the cloud, right? So if something happens to my house, everything's in the cloud. If something happens to my computer and I want to get back going straight away, I just plug in that hard drive, right? So you're protected. You can access everything. And the plus one, that is like to safeguard your photos, but actually quite difficult for the sharing aspect and the accessing all of these photos on a daily basis and for use. And that's where something like iCloud and Google, and if you're in Amazon Photos and OneDrive and, anything that's like, I use Dropbox as well. They're really great for sharing and accessing the files and photos that you need, quickly. And I mean, Apple Photos is designed for photo organizing and to help you find your photos and enjoy them. They actually do a really great job at it. But it's very clear in their terms and conditions. They say we are not a backup. It's a sync. When you see your photos on your phone, you log into iCloud or you go into your computer and you see it in photos, and then you also then go on your iPad. You think you've got it in 3 places. No.
But it's pulling it from the source, is it?
The source is in the cloud. It's sitting on Apple's computer somewhere else, right? Somewhere, maybe in Australia, it could be in America, but I think in Australian servers. And then what you're seeing on your phone is just a thumbnail, a little preview, right? So if you back in the day, you could plug in your phone and you could just copy paste the photos onto your computer. But you can't do that if you're just looking at little previews. So what you actually need to do is download the original files onto your computer or on your phone, but by default, Apple has your new phones set to turn on for optimized storage, which simply means it's optimizing, it's making the best use of storage on your phone by storing all of these like high-res photos in the cloud. So you just send you previews and a couple of high-res here and there,
Right.
and but it's to maximize. You said you have a terabyte of on your phone, but it's like a lot of people complain their phones are full, right? So that's how that works.
Yeah, and I also heard that Instagram, Facebook, that we better start putting our photos somewhere else, because soon they're going to change that so that we can't, all those old photos are going to disappear.
Really, that's the first I've heard. I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, it could be a rumor, but however, rumors sometimes turn true. So
I just think it's, they shouldn't be the primary place where your photos are anyway. And if you've posted them, you've probably got them somewhere else. But,
yeah.
and
the quality's terrible anyway. Every time it shrinks, it shrinks. Yeah, it condenses it. Quality.
And sharing your photos by WhatsApp also reduces the quality and strips all the metadata. Like, unfortunately, Google as well strips the metadata. And I think a lot of the stuff in iCloud when you export also strips the metadata. So they're really just almost so
what?
Google. So I think iCloud, to be honest, it changes a lot, right? They do here.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
All right, I'll explain. So a photo. All right, I'll explain. Stop. Don't panic. A digital. It's okay. A digital photo, right?
Yeah.
A digital photo has two parts, two sides, right? We have an image side.
Mm-hmm.
It's made of pixels. That's the image, right?
Yeah.
On the other side, we've got text and data, and that's called metadata, right? And that's the stuff like what camera was taken, what was the date, where was it? There are the other there's a lot of metadata.
All the important stuff.
Yeah.
Not for the general person, but it is all of the important stuff.
Well, that's what we use to organize your photos. And there's actually a lot of fields in there that you can populate data. Keywords, tags, they do go into the metadata. That's how that works. Like you give a tag logged there, and then you can search for it. You can add keywords. Yeah. So when we scan, we with my business, we update the metadata. We alter the date to, rather than the date of the file being the date it was created when we scanned it, we actually change it to the date it was taken, the image was taken or captured. So that's cool. It means that you load it into your iCloud and we get our memories. And if I can, I can tag Disneyland on it on the map. So when you turn on the map, you can look and it comes up. Like that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Like your phone does.
Yeah. Just so when we scan so the digital world, that's once we've populated that information, a lot of it's there. Like the data's rich with stuff like, since the phones got smarter.
Right. I know that there was one shoot that I did, and there were, I don't know whether it was 4 or 5 photographers, and the photographers are still my friends, but we, not long ago, maybe 2 years ago, were having a bit of a light argument about who took this photo. And actually, we couldn't tell if it was one of the photographers or the others. Well, they just had to go in and have a look at the metadata and work out whose photo it was.
We used to, Michael, sometimes police would come in and we tried to help them find clues, to understand what was in the metadata. I don't know, it's interesting. And working on Michael's was amazing. The image department, if I can just circle, just saying that just opened up a box of memories in my mind just about Michael's. And actually, interesting, I wouldn't mind sharing this. My very last day on the image encounter, I had a lady come in, and her son had just passed away. She must have been late 50s, early 60s, and her son had passed away. And she came in with his phone, his mobile phone, And she was like, and a print in a frame, but the print was about 13 years old, right?
Right.
And so she wanted me to get into the phone to get his photos, because the last time she printed was 13 years earlier. So, and I couldn't help her, you
Oh,
know.
you couldn't get,
It was
okay.
like, no, we couldn't get in. We didn't
No,
have the code, like, you know,
wrong
and
place.
yeah, like that was, but that's a real thing. What I've discovered only in the last year, Google and iCloud have even created a process for us to access someone else's iCloud or Google account once they've passed on.
Yes.
Until about a year ago, it was very clear in Apple's terms and conditions, saying there's no right of transfership. So basically, if you die, no one could have access to your iCloud and your photos and all your stuff, right? They've now put in a process, but you have to still do it, right? It's called a digital legacy process or something. I've actually need to look into that. So it's
Yeah.
very new. And so, yeah, like, and the other thing that's important, like in your iCloud account, in the terms and conditions, it also, and Google says this as well, they reserve the right to delete your account after 60 days of financial inactivity. So if
Oh,
you haven't
yeah,
paid
after
your credit
60 days,
card, 60 days, they reserve the right to delete your account.
that's not very much. Now, someone's just asked you a question.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want to answer that.
I can't see it.
Oh, so it's well, they're talking about the tag and they're asking if it's the same as hashtag, and I almost said no, but I should
No,
leave
it's
you to
not.
answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A hashtag is like a search. No, a hashtag is like something, a feature on social media that
Can you
allows,
see it?
I can see is hashtag the same as a tag, Facebook.
Yeah, I just popped it up for you. Yeah. So go on. Sorry, Carly.
Yeah, so that's more like a search function when you're using social media, but a tag is like on a Mac, for example, you can put color tags, and you'll see that in the
Oh,
sidebar
yes.
on the left.
Yes.
The
Yes.
tags can be colors, they can be lots of things, and then you use them again to search. You know, you create your own systems, and you can label what that search, you know, the color red means
Yeah.
don't copy or leave or something, you know.
Yeah, I use the colors too, but you kind of run out of options after a while when you have a lot of data or a lot of.
I agree, and I think it's
Yeah.
important. What I'm learning and discovering is like, you know, I'm creating a brand new business from scratch, and it's gotten to the point, yeah, I registered a company, and like it's evolving. Like I'm kind of relaunching as a startup. Tagging metadata on photos is not a hashtag. That's correct.
Yeah, I'm just showing you that I'm.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I again lost my train of thought. I'm very like, I lose focus. If I lose focus, I lose the train of thought very quickly. Yeah.
So, and because I was doing that, I wasn't.
Yeah, we
fully
both like,
you. Yeah.
yeah, we're present. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, what else? I'm of the view. Oh, decisive, organized folders. So, I'm curious how you do tag. Is it? How do you? You know what I like? I particularly like when I can put someone's name in and all of their photos come up.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's really only possible. That's where I say, that's why I've got this +1, right? Be a bit different if we had Amazon Photos in America. It's very different to what we have in Australia.
Is it?
Yeah, but Dropbox, for example, just released a new feature. You got to understand the internet's still quite new, and we're in this real, I always been saying it's like, I feel like we're just hitting puberty in the internet, like, and technology. You know, we also in Michael's were right in the transformation as well with the technology. So what was interesting when I did our centenary exhibition, I also went through our old catalogs and stuff. And, you know, I found like an ad in the year 2000. It was for a 128 megabyte compact flash card. and it was
Oh.
$458, right? Now, I just picked up some scans and did my own as well. I could fit 2 photos on that entire card, and it was $458 only 22 years ago, right?
What? 2 photos?
Yeah, because the size of the files have ballooned, right, compared to what they were
So
when
these obviously raw files, 2 raw files.
basically, yeah.
Wow.
They're actually TIFF files.
That blows
Yeah.
my mind too. But I do remember when memory cards were really, really pricey. Like I would pay over $100 for a memory card.
Yeah, it wasn't
You
that long
pick 'em-
ago.
You can pick them up for $2.
No way. Yeah, the technology is like
Yep.
rapidly been changing.
Yeah,
Rapidly.
it's
So we've been right, like we were kind of, I guess, documented it with like the cameras and the technology, like we were right there. So yeah, I think it's like that's
Wow.
kind of like, even though it's annoying for me that I now have this like octopus like thing to just access any of my stuff, kind of like happy to know that it's because USB-C is becoming the standard, right? And so almost like Androids use USB-C, Apple use like standard cable, and it also
is that the littler one?
yeah,
Yes,
this is
yes,
called a
yes,
USB-C, right?
Yeah,
So this is
yeah, it's all
becoming a standard. So we're kind of
yeah, the USB is going out. So is that
the standard
USB?
US I think I don't
Is that
even know.
called standard?
I call it a
show us.
standard. I
Yeah,
think
hold
it's
it up
called,
and show everyone.
this is the
Yes,
standard USB, and this is USB-C.
yes. So the
Right?
USB, the one with the blue bit in it, that
This one's
is
obsolete,
definitely
becoming
going out.
obsolete. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's on its way out.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
all your USBs, they're going to be obsolete soon. Right. The other thing is Apple created the HEIC file. It's like we call it HEC file.
HEI.
HEIC.
Say
H
it
for
again.
Harry, H for Harry, E for egg, I for igloo, C for cat.
How do you say?
HEC
Okay.
file, right?
Yep.
So HEC files are the same size as a JPEG, but they're smaller.
Are they?
Sorry, not the same size. Same quality as a JPEG.
Quality.
Smaller.
They
Okay.
take up less space,
Less space.
but they're the same quality.
Same quality.
Wow.
So
Same
now
quality.
Android devices, some Samsungs now give you the option to shoot in HEC.
Right.
Okay. Now I support this because smaller files are going to save space.
Yeah.
So what that means, if there's a possibility that our JPEG files will become obsolete, right?
Oh my God.
In 50, 60 years time, there may not be something, or even sooner, to be able to recognize that file.
Right. To read it. Yeah.
To read it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So, and that's not something the individual can really get their head around, especially when we've got all these devices and our stuff is everywhere.
Yeah, this is a new conversation.
Yeah, it is a new conversation. Yeah.
And also, yeah, we're gonna I feel like what I'm creating is like a space, like what I was describing before, I call it a reset, a digital photo reset, because one of the outcomes is you can actually go through your old tech that you've been hanging on to, and you can actually let it go and have it recycled or repurposed.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Once you're sure that everything's off it, it's all documented. You understand what's on everything, when this was created. Like, we actually manage our tech. We're very clear on if the photos are in the cloud or if they're here, they're backed up. Like, we have it all. It's all just organized, it's reset. And then we learn and practice some new photo habits.
Sure, but who's going to tell us when we no longer can have our? I mean, no one told me about my discs, right? Except you did. No, but well, you are somebody, and you're telling me now. But that's what I mean. It's not. it's not mainstream news.
No, not at the moment.
So,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah, this is new conversation. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. Well, I'm designing a program. So once you've had the reset, then we'll support you. You know, like, we'll have an ID. Like, I'll know that this is number. Look, this everything's got digit. I know everyone has a number, so I know what I've got it logged. What's on each, right? So that's all. It's as simple as that. Okay, so once you've had your photos organized, and we put this one, let's say, as your
What was
time
that?
machine. This is just an SSD. This
Okay.
isn't hard drive.
Yeah.
Right? Once it's organized, and so we'll know that this one was, I call it its birthday. You know, it was born on. It started to be used in, you know, just today.
Right.
So in 2.5 years, our system will prompt you and say, hey, it's time to migrate your data to a new hard drive.
Right? Okay. That's super awesome. Yeah, we all need remind the best thing on the planet.
And we know that there's JPEGs on here. Hey, okay, it's time to do the migration. Right, we're gonna help you do this one
before it's too late.
Yeah,
before it's too late, mate. All right, same quality and takes up less space. So just, I want you to go back and touch on the sustainability side of things for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just because you went there, but then we sort of moved through that rather quickly.
Yeah, this is a really it's still like kind of coming to light, right? I've always been interested in, like, when I studied photography, I was interested in photographers who photographed like the scale of our consumption. You know, so looked at like what's happening, like how what's happening in the background of the production of this, like lakes that are bright orange, you know, from the lead and the I don't know what, you know, but toxic, right? The pollution of the environment to create this stuff. We don't see. We just go to the shop and buy it, right?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't.
There's my inspiration, my favorite photographer, his name is Edward Batinsky. He's Canadian. And he does some amazing work, like showing the impact of the consumption on the environment.
I'm just going to type his name in, Edward.
Yep. Batinsky. Let me have a quick look.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay, let's try over here.
So we still have SLRs, but most people are using phones. And yes, there is a sustainability factor. I mean, the pollution.
I was horrified. I don't know if I can share. Can I put in a chat here his name, or is there somewhere I can
you should be able to. Yeah.
I don't see an option. I just see mute, stop cam, settings, and share.
All right, then I will do it. So spell it for me. P, is it?
Edward, EDWARD. And his surname is BURTY, N for November, SKY. He's a Canadian photographer.
Unfortunately, that's in capitals, but that's okay too.
That's okay. I'd check him out in capitals.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got he's got like the movie Manufactured Landscapes. I highly recommend watching that one.
Wow. And he's on Insta, did you say?
He's everywhere, but he's like a world famous photographer. And his images are like large scale. So I was inspired by him. But I do recall watching, must have been around the time when the apps started working with these cameras. And I was like, oh, it must be similar with cameras. I watched something on The Economist. It was just a short video about how mobile phones are made of every single element of the periodic table, with most of those resources being non-renewable. And they only 10% are recycled. And I was like, okay, well, I would imagine cameras are kind of similar and all tech, really. So Yeah, I was a bit alarmed, but also didn't
Right.
I wasn't really in a capacity to do something. I came across B Corps. Do you know what a B Corp is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like businesses that balance profit with purpose. And it's a certification,
It's certification. Yeah, you have to fill out.
quite a rigorous test to be certified. So yeah, I was like, my dream was to have Michael's become a B Corp. So yeah,
Right.
I've been interested in the environment. I came across someone, a friend of a friend shared about this guy named Jerry McGovern, who wrote this book,
Worldwide
Waste.
Waste. Jerry with a G, McGovern. How digital is killing our planet and what we can do about it. Now, there's a topic you never thought you'd hear tonight. Wow.
So he says, look, every time an email is downloaded, it contributes to global warming. Every tweet, search, check of a web page creates pollution. Digital is physical. Those data centers are not in the cloud. They're on land in massive physical buildings packed full of computers hungry for energy. It seems invisible. It seems cheap and free. It's not. Digital costs the earth.
Fuck.
I know. I was like, what?
Sorry, but that's just, I can't
Like,
think of anything the same anymore now.
if you just search that, if anyone's there just searches Worldwide Waste Jerry McGovern, on the blurb on the website for this book, he says 1.6 billion trees are required to offset the spam emails that are just sitting on those servers in your Gmail. And
Wait a
like,
minute now.
email-
Wait a minute. Say that again. Let's slow it down. Say that again.
I just want to double. I'm saying that from memory. I'm going to his website just to double check.
Yes. I want the actual
Jerry McGovern, Worldwide Waste. Yeah, all right.
Wow.
And his book is fully backed up with like every chapter is like got pages of references, right?
Yeah. Look, he's done his research, obviously.
So hold on 1 second. I'm right here. So this is the statistic, right? Yeah. 1.6 billion trees would have to be planted.
I'm going to repeat after you.
Yeah.
What? How many?
1.6 billion trees.
1.6 billion trees
would have to be planted. To offset the pollution.
To offset the pollution
caused by email spam.
Just by email spam.
So, right? I'll give you another one.
Email spam. Okay, give us another one.
16 million trees would need to be planted to offset the pollution caused by the estimated 1.9 trillion yearly searches on Google.
So 16 million trees would need to be planted for the 1.16 trillion searches on Google. Did I get that right?
1.9 trillion yearly searches.
1.9 trillion. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a trillion. It's beyond my imagination.
90%. Yeah. He says like this, just reading just like this blurb on the website, there's just so much stuff here. And anyway, so it's like, I can't.
It seems free. I'm sitting on a computer all day long, I'm working, but I'm going to call it messing around because, open this, that tab's open, look at that. I will not now, but we sign up. People sign up on forms all the time and get emails just
free app. Try the free app. Just try this app.
And and sometimes people never even open those emails, or they open them and then they just leave them there. It's incredible.
Yeah,
people have at least 3,000 emails in their inbox on any given day.
Well, that's why this is a really good segue, right? This is another urgent, like,
mind blowing instead of
yeah. So okay.
Mind
So
blowing. I'm glad you agree.
so Google, 90% of their data is junk, right? So they can't store it and they can't be the digital wasteland anymore. So they've changed their policy, right? They sent emails in December 2020, okay? The topic was Google changing policy, please read. Okay?
And I did not read it.
What did it say? From July 2023, any free accounts that have not been opened or activated in 2 years may be deleted. Okay?
Makes
We're going to
sense.
give you a couple of warnings, like,
Makes sense.
yeah, but it's going to be deleted. And warnings, I don't know what to your inactive account. I don't know. Maybe you didn't, whatever. That's a side point. All right. So what does this look like? What does this mean to start? People who've passed away, people who are in prison.
Oh, yes.
People who are in comas and in hospital and,
Shelters.
Yeah.
Hospital.
So that's the first.
Rehab.
Rehab, yeah. 2
Yep.
years, right?
Yep.
So this starts in January mid next year.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Look, so, there is
Wow.
like, the thing is about photos is they're really important when you take them. And they're really important when you want to use them. But between those 2 points in time, we do not give any brain thought to our photos,
No, we
right?
don't.
We haven't done that. And that's where we come in, like we've got a system, it's simple, it's, it's flexible, it's, whatever it is, like we're here to
It's
support
important for businesses, let alone individuals.
businesses, like institutions, like
Yeah.
I've had through Michael's, we had experience with like TV stations and, everyone's got these like clubs, your history and like even just the physical one, right? If you can't find your photos, they're already lost. That's what I say.
Say that again.
If you can't find your photos, like what's the experience of like wanting to find a photo? I'm no different. And I have to say, I started this conversation saying like my life is photos, right? I grew up in a camera store. I studied photography. Like my life has been love-hate relationship with cameras and photos and like every aspect of it. So I've got probably more photos than anyone I know. And they're also scattered. I'm not saying that like I'm perfect and I've done it and I'm designing it as well. I know, it's much easier doing it on someone else or having someone else help you because it really takes away the emotion. The emotion really clouds.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Spot on. Well said. Really well said. If you hadn't have said, I was going to jump in and say, yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. And that's how it is for many of us. When it comes to us doing it, we can get overwhelmed, stressed, the brain shuts down, it's too hard, I'll do it another time. And, I'm really at that stage in my life, Carly, where I really value knowing that I'm not going to do it and that there is someone that I can pay to do it who'll have it done. And then it's done. It's out of my head. It's like decluttering, right? It's like, thank you. It's peace of mind, total peace of mind. And I want to be that lady I want to live to 120, so I hope my eyes are still working then. But I totally want to be able to, whatever format we have then, I want to sit and look at my photos of my life and I want to share those with those I love. So this information is priceless and the conversation with you is priceless. And I'm really glad that you came and spoke to us. And I love your passion. Totally can feel your passion for this topic. It's amazing. Oh, I like your cup. And
I have to say, can I just share about this cup? So there's a
yes,
rule here, like no liquid next to any technology. Like I have it on a whole nother table.
yes, good.
Yeah, I just want to share that, like a hot tip.
Yeah, I have that rule unless this is a spill cup. I don't know what you can see because I can't see myself, but this suctions. So I lean over and suck for it. I pick it up and take it away.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
really cool. But you have to have that rule. And when you think you're clever, because you know that that's a possibility, right? Spilling it on your keyboards is a possibility.
There's no going back.
But you think you're clever, and that first time you do it, you're like, I will never do that again. No, there's no going back.
Can I say something completely off the topic, but on that?
Please.
I have this passion, right, about using your technology while you're driving and not using your technology while you're driving. I just want to say this because it's like really, I just think when you're driving, we're so powerful. And when you're looking at your phone, you're not looking at the road, right?
No.
As much as you think you're super powerful and can do this, the number of people you see swerving, and it's because they're on their phones, like every moment you're looking at your phone, you're not looking at the road. And I just want to say I'm passionate about the safety.
Things happen in an instant and it's not worth it. And it's something I have a rule about as well. So someone rear-ended me 2 months ago and he came out of nowhere. But when he hit me, he didn't put his brakes on. He went straight into the back of me. But he made a mistake of admitting that he was looking at his phone and didn't see me. And it was a
mistake. He was actually sharing what happened.
He came, there was the bus was pulling up at the stop. I was in front of the bus and he was behind the bus and he was coming out from the bus. And because I'm in a little red Mercedes Smart, they're tiny. And I was over to the left. And he did a quick look, didn't see me and decided to quickly check his phone to see if he was late for work. And he was pulling into that driveway past the bus and he went straight into the back of me. That's because he was on his phone.
Yeah,
but
it's
happens like that. So yeah,
it's the moment, and I just take it for granted this like beautiful luxury we have of driving, but you're actually like driving around playing with people's lives. And I think that I really think I worry about other drivers on the road. It's just something I just think is also something to just be aware of the impact of that, because I'm very visual. And the moment and you press something and you're looking on, just off search, no, you're not looking at
and the thing is, we don't even know how long we've been on the phone. Who's the Facebook user? Because you know that I have another car at the moment. Thank you. I don't know who you are. Yes, that is exactly why I have another car at the moment, a lovely blue Corolla, which feels really different to my car. Carly, I just want to thank you for being here. We should really head off because it's been an hour and 20 minutes and I don't want people to go, oh gosh,
I think an hour and 20 minutes is the perfect
I want to
time.
stay and I can't. Yeah, brilliant. Bye everyone in Instagram land. I know that you were just seeing me while Carly was speaking, but I hope that you got a lot of value out of this evening. I'm going to turn you around. And you can see Carly and say goodbye. There she is, gorgeous Carly. Bye, Carly. So bye, everyone in Instagram land. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. I'll just pop that one over there. And then where can we find you? And I'm going to put it on here as well. So just let people know where they can find you.
I think the simplest for now is my Instagram, Carly Michael Photo. It's one word. Carly Michael Michael Photo Photo. That's like my central place, and then I'll sometimes share and tag photogenie.au, and sometimes I share and tag Document My Life, which is my blog, my personal blog.
Nice. And what do you talk about on your blog?
I don't talk. I just share photos and stories.
Yep.
Yeah, very simple. And I've only started the idea for Document My Life was for me I've got a blog as well. but you can subscribe, and I'm about to move to all new systems. So it's kind of, I'm in very much a transformational stage in my like tech and business.
Yep.
But Document My Life is my blog where I will document me documenting my own stuff and organizing it, right? And hopefully use that as an example. Some people will find information that will hopefully like help them along their journeys, you know, or inspire them.
Yeah, exactly. So you've just got a comment. Can you see it there on the screen?
Thanks, ladies. Bye. Great to be here with you. You too.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you got your mind blown by Carly. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to head off now. Please check Carly out on Instagram. I know I do. And you can check me out. I've got workshops coming up soon. Do not miss out. They book fast. And really think about your photos and what you want to happen with those, because change happens quick, and it's happening quicker and quicker now. So, I mean, it just comes and bites us on the bum. Like you said, I've got a whole drawer of cords and adapters that I know that I need to actually literally throw out because they've become obsolete. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's actually another. We'll go to be, you know, with time.
No, go on, throw it in really quick.
The physical waste. There's a lot of physical waste that, like, I take photos out of albums. Like, there's a lot of waste to deal with, like, in this process as well. That's very important to, like, you know, be responsible and I guess be innovative about how we deal with that.
I would love if you, when you blogged, if you did write a blog and just gave us some simple steps to do in order to recycle, move things over to places, and what you can offer us as a service. That'd be awesome.
That's great. And I like to write, and it's for me as well. Like, I'll use the blog to like log my own resources that I'll also use, because when you don't do something for a while, you almost have to relearn it. So documenting everything and having it where you can find it, it's very useful. So I like to refer to different references and, you know, share them.
Yeah. I loved it. So that's Carly, photo organizer and documentary photographer. Clean up your duplicates. Make those photos decisive. Know that when you're setting photos through Facebook or WhatsApp, that you're losing the metadata and also
quality.
That's the main thing. Losing quality. And every time you do it, you lose more quality. And we're about to JPEGs are going to be obsolete, so that's something to watch out for. And think about the sustainability. Like, oh my God, 1.9 trillion.
No, 1.9 trillion Google searches per year.
Billion trees but I was going to say it back the other way around.
1.6 billion trees are required to offset the pollution caused by spam emails.
Yeah, spam emails, but I was going to say the second one. But yes, spam emails.
I've got it here, right? I'll say it again. 16 million trees. So they're both 16. One's 1.6 billion and the other's 16 million trees would need to be planted to offset the pollution caused by the estimated 1.9 trillion yearly searches on Google.
Yeah, but can you imagine there's 1.9 trillion searches?
Yeah, oh my God, the stats for these things are wild.
And that's costing our planet.
Yeah, so...
And we are the information age, and that's not going to stop. And I will just go Siri or search the web. I look everything up.
But you know what? I'm not saying it's bad, right? It just is. And I think the first step is having awareness. And that's the first step. Like, I think what it almost makes available is the possibility that perhaps we can really make an environmental impact by adapting or change, you know, work like our.
No, but I don't want to change. I don't want to stop Googling, and I don't want to.
No, I don't think we should have to.
No, but that's what's going to happen. It feels like that.
Do you know what you can do? And this is what he says. Like, turn off some of your notifications, unsubscribe from emails, delete old things you don't need, turn off your screensavers, even the Zoom, like
These
the
are great.
energy required with the backdrops,
Say that again.
and the energy required to make the virtual backdrops.
Yeah, like in Zoom.
Turn that off. That stuff's, create, like, even video now, like, it's using, if we had bad bandwidth, you could turn off the video and the audio will be clear, right?
That's right.
So generally,
we know that, right?
Yeah, there's behaviors you can do. Turn off the switches, turn off the lights, when you're not using them. Like, just be respectful, I think. I think that's all it comes down to.
But we do not know this about our technology. We do not know that it has the same application as when you're at home and you turn off the light switch or the switch for the TV, etc.
Yeah, it was only the digital world's only 40 years old in the history of the universe. It's just literally started. Like, we're just babies here, figuring it out.
Well, you've been enlightening. I must say, very enlightening. I've loved this thoroughly. I've loved connecting with you at Women in Heels. I love knowing more about you, and I'm going to keep checking you out, and let's see what happens when I get around to my photos. I'm going to come and see you.
So my website, you asked before also where to find me. photogenie.com.au. That's that's if you want. It's going to have it's going to look
Say
different.
It
again. photogenie.com.au. GEN for Nelly IE, like a genie, like 3 wishes.
Yep.
It was funny, you said before you did a click at the right moment, and like that's my current my current logo, but it's all shifting. I'm relaunching. Yeah. I'm very we have in the photo organizers world, we say done is better than perfect.
I love that.
So it's really, that's the way we go through this process. Like, just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect,
You can always go back and do perfect.
Yeah, but like the perfectionism, is stopping progress, in the project.
Yes.
There is it's perfect the way. Let's just get it done.
Yeah. Good on you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
We can do this again soon. Yeah. Love to. We can revisit that book too by Jerry McGovern.
I'm actually I'm having a conversation with him next week. Because I'm releasing a new, his number was on his website. So I just called him. We're chatting next week. And I'm releasing a new webinar about a lot of this stuff we spoke. It'll come out on the 1st of September.
Let us know.
Photos month. So I'll share with you the link. Yeah,
thank you. Share it in the group. That would be great. Oh, wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. I think I've got myself tongue-tied. See you, darling. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Do you know how to get out? Can you see?
No.
It should be up on the right side.
Here, leave studio. I was on full screen. All right.
Leave studio.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So thank you, everyone who stayed for the entire session. Look, I don't normally go this long. I normally go for 30 to 40 minutes, and I really respect your time here, and I hope that we've done justice to your time. Hope you found this interesting. I found a lot of information, really blew my mind. It's a lot to think about. So join me next Saturday at 7 p.m. and I've got Rose Davis she runs podcasts, and she's really interesting. She's actually going to talk about, she's a child survivor of incest, and that's going to be a really different topic, a very different conversation that we'll have. So if it's not a topic that triggers you, certainly come along and join us for that one and bring your questions too. Great to have you all here. Bye for now, everyone. Bye now. You can find me on Instagram, here in She Talks, or on www.shetalks.com.au. Bye now.